Hello, kings and queens, and welcome to Fly Nubian Queen TV. I'm Stephanie Rivers, aka Auntie. I hope you had a great day and you're ready to get some words of wisdom from me. So sit on down, kings and queens. And while you're doing that, I want to show you my new t-shirt that I got, the Fly Nubian Queen TV t-shirt. They have lots of paraphernalia for you. So while you're getting settled in, if you have somebody you want to shop for or for yourself, you can go to shop FNQ Fly Nubian Queen, shopfnq.com, and so that you can get notified when we post new videos. You should text Queens to 31996 and hit the like button. So as you're getting settled in, just want to share some information with you. As I was, especially, if you have relatives in Tennessee and Georgia, South Carolina, Oklahoma, a lot of these states are starting to open up. They're starting to lift the restrictions on retail businesses so that those workers and people who shop there can go and conduct business. But before you do that, if you live in one of those states or you know somebody, you need to hear this. As I get ready for work in the morning, sometimes because I work in an industry deemed essential, and so I'm fortunate enough to have a place to go to work where they still pay me to show up. And when I'm getting ready for work in the morning, sometimes I turn on the news channels so that I can hear what's going on in the world before I step out the door and know what's going to meet me. This morning, I was listening to CNN, and I wasn't in the room. And, normally when you hear the voices of the newscasters, you get to know their voices. So I'm hearing some voices and I'm like, that doesn't sound like the voices of the normal people that are on there. That sounds like Big Bird and Elmo. So I'm like, did I accidentally put the TV on the wrong station? So I walk around, I look, and just to make sure, am I going crazy? No, it was Big Bird and Elmo and the whole Sesame Street crew. They were on CNN this morning, and it was called the ABCs of COVID-19. It was a Sesame Street town hall. Okay. So they had to do that because they're just trying to help people understand, even on the children's level, that some of the information is coming from our leaders of the free world of the United States. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so please don't listen to those people. So we'll get into that later. But that leads me to what I want to talk with you about today. So I want to come to you before you, and I always try to impart some words of wisdom. And I want the message to be so simple that a child can understand it. And so you want to hear it? Here you go. What people show you is not necessarily what's most important. It's what they don't show you that's most important. It's not always what you see that you should focus on. It's what you don't see. It's not what they say that's most important. Sometimes it's what they don't say that's most important. So like I was saying earlier, if you've been following the news, you know that some of the governors across the country have opened up their states, whereas most of the states have a quarantine or shelter in place order, and they've restricted retail businesses or non-essential businesses from doing business. They've closed them down. They shut it down to help people to stay in the house. So if there's nothing for you to go out there and do, then maybe you stay in the house, and maybe we can get a hold on the over now 1 million people in the United States who have contracted the coronavirus. And so some of the states, like I said, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Michigan, a few other states have started to allow businesses, non-essential businesses, to open their doors to the public. And so essentially, they've said if it's a barbershop, or if it's a beauty shop or a tattoo parlor, some of these places, they're now allowing you as early as yesterday, they've started to open up. But here's the thing. Just a few weeks ago, they were talking about how people who were getting the virus are overwhelming the medical industry, overwhelming the hospitals, coming in because they've contracted the virus. And if you know anything about the virus, it shuts down your lungs. It's kind of like having a worst case scenario of you can't breathe. So essentially, they're at the hospitals, they don't have enough ventilators and other medical equipment to care for everybody. So the medical community is asking people to stay home, not just 2 weeks ago. So why is it that now they're telling you who work at the barbershop and the beauty salon and the tattoo parlor that you can go to work, but they're telling you that from the comfort of their house behind closed doors? Why is it that they're saying, okay, blue collar workers, get excited, you can go back to work, but half of the people, at least half of American citizens, have not been tested? There are not enough tests to go around. So I'm not understanding how 2 weeks ago it was too dangerous for everybody to be out because people were contracting the virus, but now 2 weeks later you're opening up businesses, especially when it's coming from people who never gave a damn about you to begin with. Now all of a sudden they care so much about you and your bottom line and your pocketbook, and now they're gonna let you go back to work. Could it be, good people, that you are the rat in an experiment? You're like, in this equation, you are the lamb that goes to slaughter. Could it be that you are the guinea pig in this situation? See, it's not what people tell you. It's not them saying, oh, going back to work, get excited. It's, well, wait a minute. What are you not saying? Why are you so excited about me going to work? It's because they want to see how you deal with the virus, whether or not you've been tested or not, because they've got people, if you own a salon or you work at a salon or a barbershop, if you are a tattoo artist, there's no way that you can practice social distancing in those establishments. Because remember, a month ago, everybody was supposed to be starting to practice social distancing, staying at least 6 feet away from the other, from people in passing. That was one thing. Number two, they said like at the end of February, early March, that, and when everybody started getting masks to wear, I don't have my mask with me, but I do have some over here, that everybody who had a mask, they said, well, the masks are really not any good. They're not going to protect you from getting the virus unless they're the medical grade N95 masks. Remember that? Now all of a sudden, they want everybody to have a mask on, and they want you to stay 6 feet away from each other. And they were saying, oh, you know, everybody needs to be tested. But now all of a sudden you can go back to work. Have you been tested? Probably not unless you had symptoms. And then you would have been able to be tested. And then you probably had it if you did have the symptoms, or maybe not. Maybe it was just, you know, you were sick that day. But at any rate, they are putting certain people in harm's way so that they can see how you react in that equation. You know, there's no way you can be a salon owner and work in a barber shop and stay 6 feet away from the person whose hair you're fixing and the hair you're cutting. There's just no way. How can you be a tattoo artist and put a tattoo on somebody and not be be 6 feet away from them? There's no way. If anything, good people, if anything, before they open the barbershops and the beauty salons and the tattoo parlors and all these other places that they're opening, telling blue collar and no collar people that it's okay to go back to work, if anything, they should open the golf course first, because you could easily practice social distancing on a golf course. They should open the country club first. You could easily do that. But why are they now not opening those types of businesses where it's easy to see how you could be socially distancing in that situation before they open the hair salons and the barber shops? It's because they feel like people who work in these establishments are expendable. They think that you are the least of us. That's what I think. And you need to ask that question too before you show back up to work. Because it's not just about you. It's about you and it's about the people you care about. See, we already know President Trump don't care nothing about his wife because he was sleeping with prostitutes while she was pregnant with his child. So we already know how he feels about his family. So what makes you think he gives a damn about your family when he don't give a damn about his own family? So you have to ask the tough questions, and you have to, I know we all need money and we need money to pay our bills and to feed our families. But before you just like going back outside with your mask on that they said don't work in the first place, without the test that they say you need, without the social distancing that you can't do, before you go outside and do all of that, you might want to just do some self-evaluation, or at least have some precautions in place so that when you do get back to work, you can be as safe as possible. Like, I mean, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a medical professional, but I listen to the medical professionals. And if you're going to be in an enclosed space with people who you're not sure if they had a test or if they're a latent carrier and they're carrying the virus, and then you pick it up, or if you don't know how your immune system is or their immune system is, and everybody looking at everybody and all of that, then you should have a plan when you show up to work, whether it's you're taking people's temperatures before y'all start engaging. That might be a good idea. Or, you don't stay in an enclosed area, especially when the chemicals and everything are going through the air, and because medical professionals say that the virus is transported by droplets from sneezing and coughing, before you put yourself in a position where you are inhaling things, or your exposed skin might be contaminated, or you might get something on your skin. When you go home, before you start hugging and kissing on folk, you might want to go and take a shower and scrub down, because you're not too, young to remember, or you might be too young to remember, but look it up. The Tuskegee experiment. That was when government officials injected a disease into syphilis. They injected syphilis into Black people to see how they would react to the disease. And some of them they gave the cure to, or a treatment to, and some of them they didn't. They were essentially human lab rats. So don't think that the government, the US government, and especially the man in charge, is above treating us like lab rats, because they ain't, because they've done it before. And that's just one instance where they've done it. And so just wanted to pass it on to you. When people say, like President Trump said, oh, I love the tattoo people. I love the people who do the tattoos. Why you love me so much? You don't even love your wife enough to not mess around on her when she's pregnant with your baby. How you gonna love me? So ask yourself that. So I just want to pass that on to you because just as he said just the other day, so many things he says, but every time I look at one of his coronavirus briefings that they have every day, I say to myself, if we can elect this man to be president, I can do anything in the world that I want to do. And so if you want to have, if you want to boost your self-esteem, I would suggest you look at one of these coronavirus briefings that the president has. And not too long, though, because for the half of the time he's lying and for the other half he's guessing. Because he just really is just rambling on because he likes to see himself in front of the camera. We already know that. It's all about him, his winning. It's all about his pocket. It's all about his image and his ratings. And so it's really not about any of us. It's really not about the American people. It's about what we can do for him. So he likes to stay up there and talk. So don't spend too much time. You want to use your time wisely and productively. And so far from what I've seen in the briefings, that's not wise or productive to stay there for the 3.5 hours that he's talking. But anyway, if you want to boost your self-esteem and confirm and reaffirm that I can do this, I can do anything. If this man can be president, you can do whatever you